Alrighty, here we go. How's everybody doing? Hope you had a great weekend. Back with another watch list here this evening. We'll go over a bit of a review from Friday. I'm currently flat on all my positions. Before I switch from this, Benny is the former Mullen down to 3 cents. This will have a reverse split tomorrow, so just worth mentioning that one. But towards the end of the week there, SPY finally started pulling back after its steady grind from the tariff fears. Finally had a couple day pullback. So I was long, short, a couple names, and with the uncertainty in the markets and some of the patterns starting to get a bit obscure, I moved on and I'm flat on everything. So open, I was swinging this one right over here. I had shorted on this day. I had added over here, covered some into the 170s, covered some more in pre-market on Friday, and then I stopped out the rest here in the 190s, just stopped breaking down. So ended up giving back like another 20 cents, 25 cents unrealized. Was up probably about 3R near the lows, and then gave most of that back just because I only covered maybe about a third of the position. Neg, every other time this thing has broke out, it's gapped up and gone on a multi-day run, broke out here, gapped up, multi-day run, and then we get this big double top breakout on increased volume, and this gaps down huge. So I did not sell it right at open. We got this little pop. The plan on that watch list was looking for it to at least hold 56. And I sold basically. It went up, down, up, and then just sold it over here in the chop because it just it wasn't getting anywhere. It didn't go green on its couple attempts. So I moved on from that one. What else did I had another? Let me pull up my. I had another position, I think. Oh yeah, it was the OTC. I covered that. That one ended up really well. The OTC and was it NG and where is it? I wrote it down here. HGRAF. I was short that one in the ones. I had that one on that first red day. I covered a portion of it, and then I covered the rest of it Friday morning, right in the 71, 72 cent area. So that one ended up really well, making about 30 cents on it. And what else did I have? Fig, I traded that one on Friday. So I was up decent. I was up about 3.5, 4R on Friday, closing all those swings, and I minimized it. I didn't take all the gains. And then Fig. So I was not planning on trading this. If you saw my sentiment on the watch list on Thursday going into Friday, and it wasn't really a pattern. And going into market open on Friday, I started to second guess myself because Nate and Kyle were coming into this day talking about how A+ this setup was. I didn't see it, but they were saying it. So I took a trade that was not in my wheelhouse and just kind of trusting their word at face value. And when you're not trading your own setups, then that's kind of what's expected to happen. Now, it looks pretty easy. Short the morning pop and you get a big $30 pull. And I got short here in like 132, 133 or something like that. Basically like opening range lows, risking versus highs. So I was risking like $10, which means I need to make at least 20 or 30. And there was only a 2-to-1 trade off of that entry, but I covered basically for like $6 or $7. Then we got this pull, so I tried to long it, and it rolled over. I stopped out, and then I tried to short it. So I shorted here. Once I got stopped out, I flipped short, was risking versus this bounce high. And then I got a bit stubborn on it, let it continue higher. I didn't think it would come all the way back. Once we started to roll over here, and I started to add into these lower highs and then moved risk to like a 130 hard stop. And I was checking on it periodically throughout the day from my phone. Started to roll over, looked good. And right near the close, it just starts coming back. So I took it all off for another scratch. So took a small gain, got full, so like risking $10 and then making 6 or 7. So I didn't even make a full R on the short. And then I try to flip longs, then I lose a full R, and then I short, and then I get stubborn, so I'm down more than 1 R, and then I start adding as it starts rolling over. I have like a 119 average or something like that. And then I get stopped out here. So needless to say, I was not comfortable in this position and ended up going lower after hours. I gave back my whole day trying to force trades on this one that I wasn't even prepared for. So really screwed up my Friday on that one, and yeah, it is what it is. But after a already slow week and then ending a Friday like that wasn't fun. Wasn't down a ton, but giving back all those swing trade P&L in one afternoon was not super enjoyable. So, as far as watches going into next week, open, I no longer have a position, not really interested in trading that one. A few other percent gainers that I'm just keeping an eye on, but no real plans. SGD, SNGX. Big runner, pulls back, low volume, but there is just so much resistance up here overhead. You can see like the volume did start to dry off after that parabolic, but there's so many people still bagged, so I'm not really looking at that one for a T+1. C-pop, same kind of thing. Big runner, pulls back, no real plan there. Lobo, big percent gainer on Friday, no real plan, nothing I can do. Now, more actionable ideas. Navini, I don't want to lose this one off radar. It's popped up into that 76-80 cent level a couple times, but each time that it failed pretty hard, it hasn't gone away. So I'm definitely keeping it on watch now that it's not coming from 40 cents into the breakout level. It's consolidating and tightening up near those highs. So I think this is worth keeping on watch for a potential break and build. But we will see. Repl, this one here was asked on one of the prior watch lists if I had it on watch, and I didn't love it. But we've got a couple days of consolidation now, and it's starting to uptrend towards that breakout level. So this 760 is the prior 2 days high, and then 8 over under 8, give or take a few cents, is the breakout level before you get into that gap. Now most of the range did come from the gap, so it's not like an A+ setup by any means. But this one running from 6 to 8. So maybe a 768 break, maybe this gets up into the 9s. Not going to be like a home run trade, but I think it's worth, putting on 1R risk and seeing if you can get a 2 or 3 to 1 trade out of it. And then with the market rolling over, I've got eyes on Soxel here, semiconductor ETF. Typically trades fairly well and rangy. I remember dip buying it over here. And Sox is trading that one with the inverse as well. Over here, I remember trading that one. But so we've got this big bounce since April lows, and then it starts to fail to follow through on this daily 25 level. So if 25s doesn't reclaim, I think you could get like a little multi-day rollover. Maybe something like this where it pulls 26 to 25 or 28 to 25, get like a few bucks a share. But worth keeping on watch if it continues to push up and reject. JCI, earnings loser, gap down, red day, starting to bounce. JCI and Spot I saw on Sunday Scan with Chris and Pradeep. And JCI earnings, so there's a reason for it to be down, starts to bounce slowly. And then on the day that it starts to give up this bounce, once it takes out these 102s, probably gets hit. But just wait for these higher lows to give up and eventually roll over. I like Spot a bit better. just because it trades a bit more range. And then we've got like this flat bottom. Low was 615, 619, 618. So right around the 16s, like 620-ish level the last few days. So this one had its earnings gap down, tried to push a couple times, and then possibly roll over and retest some prior support levels. So that's all dependent on what SPY's doing tomorrow. I anticipate a little bit of a relief rally given the sell into the end of the week, pushing out those hedges in the market makers. So I anticipate a little bounce, but where it goes after that first 15 minutes is kind of anyone's guess. But kind of sticking with the same sentiment here. Obviously, FIG, I didn't stick to discipline and follow my plans of taking it easy. But I'm going to try to keep that in mind and do that tomorrow. And basically the rest of the week until something else shifts. But there's nothing that's A+. If you're not a large cap trader and thrive in this market volatility, then I don't think that there is any harm in sitting back on the sidelines. As far as small cap goes, not really a ton on watch. If Navini set up, I'd put that into like an A grade setup if that were to re-break through 76s, 80s. But we'll see. Yeah, so Repul's probably my main watch in tomorrow. And then, see where we're at. Hopefully we get some decent runners. While I'm here, I might as well throw up my 5-day gainer scan and see if I've got any multi-day runners. No volume, no volume, no volume. Yeah, just nothing running. Nothing running. So, no harm in taking it slow, but I think I will wrap it up there. No sense in rambling on. I hope you guys are doing well. And I will see you guys in the Investors Underground chat room. Peace.